Hello everybody, John here, and today on To The Garage we talk new project car. Hi all, just got back yesterday evening from another business trip out in Purdy, and it was the hottest day I've ever driven this car. I think it was 33 degrees, and at the moment the air conditioning needs recharging. So even roof down, roof up, windows open, windows closed, the air was hot. But Purdy did what she always did, lapped up the miles and made me smile for most of them when I wasn't mopping my brow. Regulars to the channel will know that 3 months ago I did a video. It was a bit like this, and I said I've got something even better than an XK8 and teased you all, and the answer to that question was I've now got 2 XK8s because I'd got myself a project car in the form of Steed, as I then called him. There's a bit of a theme to my naming conventions, folks. I do like Joanna Lumley, and I like detective series and spy series, particularly of my youth. So Purdy was a character from the New Avengers, as was the car I bought, Steed, which was a 1997 XK8 non-runner beyond any reasonable expectation of going back on the road because of the expense of doing it. But we saved it. And no sooner had I saved it than somebody took me up on my offer. So always pay attention. I said that I would sell it for to the first person who made me a reasonable offer over and beyond what I'd spent on the car. And Steed's on his way, and spoken to his new owner again last week, and enjoying it, really enjoying it. Anyway, so that left me without a project car. Now, I've got jobs to do on Purdy, don't get me wrong, plenty of jobs. However, she's in pretty good condition, so I needed something to keep the juices going. So I did say I was going to buy another project car. And not only did I buy it, but it's here. And not only is it here, but it's named. Oh yeah, and I'm carrying on my naming convention. So I'm sure a few of you will have tried to guess, had a guess, guessed what it is. It's separate to my daily driver, which is another new car, new to us, that the Freelander 2 has been sold to accommodate. This is a non-running car. So with little more ado, let's say once more, what's better than an XK8? Well, how about 3 XK8s? Ladies and gentlemen, and Purdy, may I introduce you to Sapphire and Steel. Do you see what I did there? If you're not from the UK, it won't mean anything, but Sapphire and Steel was another sort of 70s mystery, spies, crime, weird program if I'm honest. But it also happens to star Joanna Lumley as Sapphire, and her partner in crime was a guy called Steel, whose name eludes me for now, but he's the same guy who played Ilya Kuryakin in The Man from U.N.C.L.E. His name will pop in my head in a moment. Anyway, so what the hell have you done, John? And how come Sapphire's so challenged? Here's the skinny version of the story. I was browsing online, as you do, and going through the various Jaguar forums, joining in with the chats as I do here and there. And sometimes I join in with the chats without the TTG logo on my name. Just otherwise, I sometimes find I can't ask any questions because people are just queuing up to chuck them at me. Came across a guy called Richard. Hi, Richard. And Richard was looking to offload 2 project cars that he had, these 2, and neither runs. I mean, literally, they won't start. He'd had them a while. He's a proper car enthusiast, very much a person after my own heart, but he's got way too many vehicles. And these 2 beauties needed to move on. As per with Steed, I intend to keep a bit of a running log of what I spend and what I do and what needs doing on these vehicles. Also, I've got to work out what I want to do with them ultimately, but it has to be said, I won't be keeping them long term. So again, if people are interested in owning Sapphire or Steel, either as done up cars a little bit or as projects for themselves after I've got them so far, then get in touch. But the story for this one is it's actually a car that's been on the road until very recently. So this car has a full UK MOT. And its MOT, I think, lasts till April. It was being enjoyed for what it is, a slightly scruffy example of one of the greatest cars that there is to own, until the fuel pump failed. That fuel pump was replaced, and then in a matter of a few weeks, the fuel pump had failed again. So this got parked up and kind of surrendered on because too many other things to do. So it's got to be said, Sapphire looks very scruffy. The lacquer is literally, I mean, peeling doesn't really describe it, does it, boys and girls? Looks like it needs some after sun. And doesn't look like a car that's been living in the UK, if I'm honest. So we've got all that going on. It's got an advisory, which I think is a very generous advisory, on its headlamp reflector. And there is literally no silvering left on that reflector. So I don't think that will pass an MOT again. And then if we look on the roof, absolutely the same, completely devoid of lacquer except for 2 patches. Ironically, given our challenges with Steed, this one I think has had its sills replaced all the way along rather well, but up to a certain line, see where the grey stops. Above there is very crusty and needs some sort of repair. This is all based on observation. I've not lifted this car. We'll save that for when you guys watch. And this back rear quarter here is very, very decayed. So there's a big scab there. This is sticking out. There's lots of problems down there. The rear bumper mounts are absolutely broken, as in snapped through. The plinth is obviously off a different car, but not yet been painted. It's got a boot badge on this particular model, which is a 98, but no logo left on it. This side, the bodywork is, again, crusty in this area, not so bad. Looks like it's had a dent here at some stage. Hard to tell with all the different colours of blue. But yeah, you can just about see the crease there. It's had some sill work. It's not terrible at all at a glance. She's still got a towing eye in where she's been recovered. And I note just from glancing at the front that the front under tray is missing. And therefore there's a lot of corrosion down there on the on the cross member. We lift the bonnet, and we've got the AJ26. And again, not investigating fully today, but it all appears to be there, you know, bar a few little dress-up pieces, the things that are always broken and missing on these cars. And then inside, you'll note we are sport trim yet again. The driver's seat is really dried out and nasty. The passenger seat not in bad nick at all. So the trim panels are off. You'll note no parcel shelf cloth. And this is probably an advantage. Headlining is literally missing, but it is fiberglass, so it should be quite easy to reskin. There is no high level tail light. Oh, and the only reason that I've been in here at all is I took the battery off to see if it's going to come back to life at all, because it's dead. So, not lifted it. Don't really know a lot more than you do at this stage, but that car is MOT'd. It just won't start. So on my bench is a fuel pump in that white package, and what I'll be doing over the next couple of days is I will give this car a once over, as we did with Steed, and give you a full lowdown on what it needs to make it right. And we will put a fuel pump on it and see if we can get it started, and see if it really is just a fuel pump that's wrong. So why have you got two? Well, Richard was selling two. So steel, at first glance at least, is a much prettier, closer to finished vehicle. I think he's platinum silver, though I can't check because the trim and paint codes, as you know, on this door jamb, but although the door's unlocked, they won't drop because it hasn't got a battery in there that's got any juice in it. The only paint off on this one is on both door mirrors. It's got discoloured paint scabbiness there, and I suspect the return at the bottom of that sill might be rotten, but that's very common. The worst bit on this car at a glance is this side here. Again, discoloured paint is actually chipped off there, so I think it's had a little bit of a blow with a rattle can at some stage. And this area here again, I suspect if I start playing with this too much, the back edge of that return might come off. But this one doesn't look like the sills have been repaired. There's a degree of rust on that seam there around the jacking point, but they look straight. They look okay. I don't know what they're really like. Nice wheels, quite a desirable pattern. It's what I call a Mark II. So this is a 2001 car. Note the flush fog lights, what I call a wavy strake. On Purdy, this is a straight chrome strip that runs through slots in the back of here. On this, it's pushed forward, wavy strake. And a Recaro car. And it's got a very nice interior, at least at first glance. Black, in decent condition, very attractive pale, I think that's spalted bird's eye maple. It's called spalting, the dark pattern on the left hand side, you can see there. But see the cobwebs? Again, I've not seen any more of this car than you have. I know he's got, I'm not going to investigate because I don't want to get in the car because of the state it's in. I know it's got a Jaguar phone, which will never work, but I want one. And if we open the boot, you'll see completely the wrong battery and flat. And the fuel tank is out. So the straps are off, top's off, and it is again suspected that this car has a failed fuel pump. Some of you may be asking yourselves a question. Ooh, nice accessory. John, Steed is evidently the best toy out of the two. Give him a wash, start him up, he's away. Why is Sapphire in your garage and ready to be lifted? Well, looks can be deceiving, and truth of the matter is, because this car has an MOT, unlikely as that sounds, if I can get it started, I can put temporary insurance on it and drive it. And if I can drive it, I can discover lots of things about it quite quickly, and it's mobile and it's not in my way. That is the main reason that I will be doing some work on this car first. And remember I said looks can be deceiving? So this really quite nice looking, if filthy, 2001 model hasn't got an MOT. Indeed, it's not failed an MOT, it just didn't have one since 2013. This car's not turned a wheel in over 10 years. So, even if it turns out she is in good nick, this car needs properly going over to recommission, because for 10 years it's lived, I guess, outside. And I mean, check the tyres, for instance. Also, the front edge of this sill, look, is gone. So it might just be that the paint is bridging. We don't know yet, we don't know. This is more of an unknown quantity. So Sapphire, I'm going to try and get started, and then we'll do a full investigation into what Sapphire needs to be a decent car. The paint job makes me question what I do with it. Steel could, subject to appearances, turn into quite a sharp looking car quite quickly, and does look like it might have some resale value. Do I go for making this car great, have a bit of fun with it, drive it, sell it on? And does poor old Sapphire have the ignominy of being turned into a parts car? Again, I really don't like that, but instinct says that the cost of a respray, because that's really what it needs, just rules it out to put it back on the road prettily. Or do I get it wrapped? Or do I get it right and then try and sell it to somebody who's able to spray it? Don't know. So many possibilities. Oh, and of course, as well as cobwebs in here, what you're also going to find is the headlining is down. It's pretty much a universal truth. That's what I did. And I bought them sight unseen. Obviously I saw photographs. But as Richard was on the south coast and I'm up on the mid to north east coast, It didn't make any sense to make the trip and add even more cost to the situation. Now, I will share the price of these cars, so minor apologies to Richard for sharing information like that, but you know how the video works. I'm going to clock up the actual costs. So, thanks to a really nice fellow car buff, I bought 2 cars for £1,400. So we can say that the cars cost £700 each. That one looks prettier, but is a real unknown quantity. This one looks a lot scabbier, but is technically this close to being back on the road. On top of that, I had to pay £680 to get both cars transported separately from the south coast up to my home, which I thought was a bit of a good deal actually. So I'm going to say that the starting position is both of these cars have cost £1,040 each to get to this stage. I have also managed to get the logbooks and everything else, and they're even transferred over into my name already, which is marvellous. So there's no expense in trying to get them re-registered as mine. That's all worked out rather well. So the adventure begins again. I want your input, folks. What should I try and do with these 2 cars? How far would you go with a car that looks like that? Do you think that that's a pretty car and should be made perfect, or just made into a really nice toy for tooling around in? If any of you are interested in owning either of these cars at some point in the near future, you know, keep in touch. I will be making a profit. I won't be ripping anybody off. It is about somebody paying for everything that I've spent on these cars, plus X. And whoever wants to make X the largest can have either of them. Though on both, I will say, you know, if you rang me today and said I want either of these, I would say no, but I want to get this one driving. I want to do X, Y, Z to that, and then yes, we could do something with it. So I hope you're as excited as I am. I really can't wait to get started. And we've got the whole other adventure of mid next week should be collecting our other mystery car, the unicorn car as I keep calling it. If you watched my previous video about the Freelander, I've hinted at what it is. Can you guess what it is? That is replacing our Freelander 2. It's a completely different car. It's a 2014. It's got 360 horsepower. It's got masses of torque. It's very fast, it's very comfortable. It's not a Jaguar. It's not a grey import. And not even the model, the mark, the brand like Jaguar. There are less of this mark in the UK than there are Aston Martins. It did not sell well. What have we done? What have we bought for our jump in and go car? Ooh. It is the unicorn car. Ooh. I'd love to tell you why we went for it, but the truth of the matter is myself and Jo, my wife, we just got an affinity for random, wonderful vehicles with both petrol heads. And when we saw this particular one, I thought that one goes a little bit beyond our normal comfort zone. We have to own it. It gave us a complete buzz to take it for a test drive anyway, that was for sure. So, 3 Jags. Let me know your thoughts, folks. Am I off my rocker? And if I am, does it matter? Do I care? I don't think I do. So from me, from Purdy, Sapphire and Steel, I say see you very soon. Subscribe if you haven't. You won't want to miss any of these because I'll be going underneath that one very soon. If you're interested in any of the gadgets, gizmos and tools that I use in my videos, then very often I'll put a link to relevant items in the description below the video, but you can also go to amazon.co.uk/shop/to the garage, and that will give you the To the Garage storefront. These are not things I'm selling, it's just a link to all of the Amazon based items that I've bought over the years which are relevant to the channel. Nice little feature. Thank you very much, Amazon. If you're enjoying our channel, then don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell icon so you get notifications of new videos.